Hey y'all, and good morning, or I guess good morning for me because I usually upload this in the afternoon, so it's probably afternoon for you. Regardless, good morning. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and today I am excited to sit down and be able to play with some makeup, and especially because it is a new palette from, as you saw from the title, Nomad Cosmetics. This is their new American Parks palette, and if you for some reason haven't seen the inside, this is what it looks like. Now this is not a first impressions chit chat get ready with me type of video. I have used it 2 other times on myself before and also 2 other times on my sisters, so I have something of a good grasp on this, but I'm excited to sit down and get really creative because I've been doing pretty chill, not too crazy of looks. So I want to go really fun and adventurous with this. Definitely play with the yellows and greens because that's something I haven't touched. I've kind of stuck to the neutral side of it. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing today, and I want to chit chat a little bit about my teeth, oddly enough, but more so just like teeth and, you know, having children. It's something that I never really heard talked about growing up, and it's an aspect of being pregnant that really affects me, so I figured we could talk about it during this video. So yeah, why don't I go ahead and prime my eyes and we can just jump right into it. Alright, so I'm primed and ready to go. Here it is. I meant to say in the beginning, obviously, I feel like I say this every time, but they always package it so well. I purchased this myself, so this is what they send to their customers, but they put in this like brown little paper bag in a padded envelope, of course, but it just was very aesthetically, you know, kind of went with the palette. And there's like a little bear, and then there's a little bear claw there, and they had it folded up so pretty. The outer box packaging looks the same as the palette inside. That's what the back of it looks like, which I always appreciate because then I don't feel like I have to keep the outer box if it looks the same as the actual palette. And then yeah, as I already showed, this is what the palette looks like. Color story is beautiful. Like I said, I want to focus on the greens and the yellows because those are the ones I've been itching to get into, but I've been holding myself back because I wanted to use it in today's video. So yeah, I think I'm going to start with that bright green. I'll probably blend it out with the yellow, and then I'll probably deepen up with this green. I feel like as I've been playing with this, I think this green is going to be the deepest color in this palette. That's something that surprised me a little bit because this purple doesn't go, I mean, not to say that it's not deep, but for my standards for outer corner, it doesn't go deep enough. And then this brown, for my standard of outer corner, doesn't go as deep as I want it to. So I'm hoping that green gives me the depth that I'm wanting when it comes to an eye look for, you know, this palette. If not, then I'll be more of like a monotone type of, not monotone, but just mid-tone type of palette. Like I just won't expect to, you know, go into this trying to get a lot of, you know, depth for my outer corner. That type of thing. So anyway, I'm diving into Everglades. My first time using this green shade. It's been so hard not to use it because obviously I think it's so pretty, but as I said, I reached for this for a pretty monotone look. I had my sister's bridal shower this weekend, and I had it at my house, so I was A, very busy day of, and then B, I just kind of wanted to go a little bit more neutral with my makeup, so this palette was perfect. I used the more purple mauvey tones and the more taupe shade for my eyelid, which I used this shade right here. It is beautiful because it has a beautiful purple to taupe color. It's very sparkly and kind of changes dimensions on your eyes. It's beautiful. So yeah, I wanted to talk about teeth because that's something I feel like is very, it's an aspect of having children that it really impacts my life. Like after each, I've had 3 children if you're new to my channel, and after each one of their pregnancies, I've had to have so much work done on my teeth. And now as I'm 3 children in, I've learned a lot, and I've talked to, I mean, I've moved around a lot. I lived in California, Virginia, and now here in Florida. So I've been to many different type of dentists, many different type of, you know, yeah, specialist even. I just finished going to an odontist. I can't say that word. I know it's embarrassing, but it's just facts. But so I've been around and I've talked to many people about my teeth. I'm gonna dip into the darkest green, which is called Blue Ridge Parkway, and put that on my outer corner. So anyway, after talking with all of them, I've learned so much about being pregnant that I hope I can incorporate in the next time I'm pregnant, so that I don't have all these struggles. So I don't know, this is kind of why I wanted to chat about it, because like I said, I just finished going to an odontist. I know, because I had to get a root canal for one of my teeth, and that's just something that's been, this has been that tooth that I finally got a root canal has been having issues for probably over a year all said and done. But I went and got a crown put on it last, oh goodness, fall. I have a video where I did the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream Palette, and I mentioned in there that I had so much tooth pain because I had a temporary crown on and I almost couldn't talk. That's when I got the temporary crown, so that's kind of when it all started. But after they put on the crown, it took so long to heal because I had so many issues with that tooth that he had to like correct and whatnot. There was a lot of, he said, gum decay and whatnot, so it took a long time for that to heal. But even after it healed, I could never chew on that side. And so it finally kind of came to a head about a month ago during my brother's wedding. Actually, the crown fell off. It only had a temporary crown because he didn't want to put a permanent on it because it was taking so long to heal. But when it came off, he said it still looked like really not healed. So he was like, my dentist was like, you need to go to see this like professionally, or not professionally, but someone who specializes in root canals, because he said, you know, I think you just need a root canal. I think that's the problem here. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about this today is A, it's very fresh. I just got a root canal and I'm hoping that solves this side of my mouth. But B, also, I never heard anyone talk about like the problems you can have with your teeth after having children, and the little things that I'm hopefully going to try to do because I haven't been able to implement them, but the things you can do while you're pregnant to hopefully alleviate it. Because after my first pregnancy, before that, I had all my wisdom teeth. I actually never got them removed. They never caused me problems. They weren't that crowded. Like, they were a little crowded back there. I don't have the biggest mouth, but they weren't coming in sideways or funkier or whatnot. They weren't ever giving me problems. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep my wisdom teeth as long as I can. And then I got pregnant, and after my pregnancy, they were all seriously, like, had serious cavities and impacted and just causing all sorts of problems in my mouth. I remember once it started having issues, Olivia was a couple months old, and I had to, oh my gosh, I felt like I lived off of pain medication for weeks, maybe even a month, because of how long it took me to go to the dentist, for them to look at it, for them to refer me over to someone, I forget who it is, that actually removes your wisdom teeth and all that. So it just was a long process, and I remember having so much pain during that time. Well, before finally getting 3 of my wisdom teeth removed, because one of them wasn't down. And my mom actually had it where one of her wisdom teeth, she only ever got 3 removed, and the 4th one never came down, so she's never had to remove it. It's like all up in her, I don't know, up here somewhere, and it's never come down, so it's never been a problem. So when I had to go get my wisdom teeth removed, and they were like, hey, your other one's way up here, do you want to just, you know, dig in and get it out while we're doing, you know, you're under, I had to be put to sleep. So like, do you want us to just take it out right now while we're in there? And I was like, oh, no, that's okay. I was kind of hoping that it would never come down. It came down. It had to go last year. But anyway, I was hoping it would stay up. I'm going to go into the yellow one. Old Faithful is what this one's called. And I'm going to put that just right on the top, kind of halo it. I don't want to overpower it. I just kind of want to give a lime greenness to the outside of this. This is all going on really nice. As you guys saw, I put it on some glitter glue. I'm about to put on the shimmers. I'm just kind of chatting and doing it. So anyway, that was my experience after Olivia. So after Olivia and after I had all that issues, I was like, well, next time shouldn't be too bad because my wisdom teeth are no longer in my mouth, and I know now how, you know, how rough pregnancy and eating all that. I thought it was just because you eat all the time, and I didn't brush my teeth all the time. And with Olivia too, especially during morning sickness, I know during the height of it when it was most intense for the first, you know, trimester or two, I was really bad at brushing my teeth because brushing your teeth was so bad for me. I would gag just trying to get the tooth, and this was in the very early stages. Thankfully, after a while, I was able to brush my teeth. But I remember there was a couple weeks at the beginning where just the action of putting the toothbrush in my mouth would make me gag and like try and throw up. I never really did because I didn't have much in my stomach, but you know, it was just that horrible feeling. So I thought that was the reason I had the problems with my wisdom teeth and they had to go, is because of just how often I was eating and how little I brushed my teeth. So the next pregnancy I was like, okay, with Gideon, my second one, I'm gonna brush my teeth more. I'm gonna go on with mostly this green one, and I think I'm gonna incorporate the yellow. And so with Gideon then, I brushed my teeth throughout the whole pregnancy, even though kind of same story, it was really rough in the beginning. I just hated it. I would kind of gag, but I had the fresh memory of all the tooth pain I went through with Olivia, so I was like, I'm gonna brush it anyway. And I did. I brushed it throughout the whole pregnancy, and I didn't chew ice. That was something I did with Olivia's pregnancy. I kind of would suck on / chew on ice to help with the nausea, so I didn't do that with Gideon because that's what I thought was the issue. And at the end of Gideon's pregnancy, when I went back to the dentist, because that's another thing, I can't go to the dentist when I'm pregnant because people working in my mouth, I would just throw up. Like that would just be an automatic, and it's just not something I want to put myself into. Usually like 6 months or so, within the first 6 months after having my child, I'll go to the dentist, and there's always a long list of work that needs to be done. Anyway, with Gideon, one of my tooth on this side, one of my teeth in the front, actually broke off. Like that was when I was like, oh shoot, I think this cavity has gotten a little too bad. And also I had to get so I had to have a root canal on that tooth that broke, like it just, a piece of it chunked off. I had to have a root canal and a crown put on that, and I had to have a root canal and a crown put on another tooth in the way back because that one was also really, really bad. And I think I had to have a couple other cavities and other teeth as well done at that time. So that was after Gideon. And I remember talking to him about it, and I was to the dentist at the time, I was like, do you think it's like just, you know, with eating so much and then also, you know, chewing ice and all that? And he's like, oh, you know, ice isn't great for your teeth, but he's like, it wouldn't cause that much harm. I'm just gonna put on some of the yellow now and kind of mesh the two. And he was like, honestly, probably a big factor of why you're having tooth problems is because like drinking soda, and that was something I was doing. I was drinking a lot of like ginger ale and any kind of soda because carbonation just makes my stomach feel better when it's all sorts of, you know, all over the place and feeling terrible. Soda is really nice on my stomach. It's looking a little chunky the more I add on, so let me tap a little bit more and then smooth it over and leave it alone, because maybe it's just something that doesn't like to be messed with or too much added onto it. Okay, that looks better. There's a little bit of like a red sparkle to it that's very pretty. I'm gonna put a little bit more over the green just to mesh it, not so much touch the inside corner because that looks pretty good. So anyway, I was like, oh wow, interesting, okay. So I stopped drinking so much soda. I switched that up to a sparkle water. That's when I first started drinking sparkle water, because I even brought it into my dentist. So I was like, okay, this sparkle water has no sugar. It's just carbonated water with some like flavoring, natural flavoring. I was like, is this gonna be okay? Is this okay? Because I really do, I honestly just enjoy soda. I like the carbonation, especially, like I said, when I'm pregnant, it's kind of a must just because it helps my stomach so much and just makes life bearable. And so he was like, yeah, that's good to go, that's fine. That looks good. And then he said, of course, you know, just brushing your teeth more and really making sure as much as you can to keep it clean just because you are. And he, you know, also confirmed the whole, when you eat a lot and you have food constantly on your teeth, that's just, you know, food constantly working at, you know, eating at basically deteriorating your teeth. So I was like, okay, now I know, not so much soda during pregnancy. Let's focus more on sparkle water and just brush my teeth a little bit more, like after major meals. Like I didn't have this expectation of like brushing my teeth after every time I ate, because literally when I'm pregnant, I eat all the time. But trying to do like after every major meal, so at least like 3 times a day or whatnot. Just give it a brushing and just to get it off. And also floss, I felt like, is something I definitely did not take time for when I'm pregnant, because I just don't feel good. So then come along to the 3rd pregnancy with Levi, and I was like, okay, trying to implement all these. And then after him, I had so many issues. Now granted, I also kind of made it worse, like cavity wise. Like I had a ton of cavities in my teeth, but I think it was just made worse by the fact that I think I didn't see a dentist for like 2 years, because I missed going to my every 6-month cleaning at the end of 2019 because I got pregnant and we were about to move, and I was like, it was too much. I was already getting sick. I had so much to do to pack up and move. I was like, I'll do it, I'll do it whenever I'm done and moved. And then I moved and I was still super sick, so I never ended up going when I was pregnant. So it was 2019, and then the beginning of 2020, when I was done being pregnant, I couldn't go. I made an appointment, but it was canceled because of the pandemic. I didn't go to the end of 2020, so it was definitely made worse by the fact that it took me so long to go, so that by the time I went, it was pretty bad. Like I had so many cavities, I lost count. I had a row down here of all my teeth near my gum line were just decayed from eating. And that's another thing, like I eat all the time when I'm pregnant, but then also too, even when I'm nursing, I eat a ton because I'm so hungry. You're hungry all the time. And then I was really sick with Levi, and this is where I learned the last tip that I really hope to hopefully make it better. But he was saying that when you throw up, you have a lot of stomach acid from, you know, your throw up, that settles into your teeth. And he said if you don't rinse your mouth, or, you know, rinse it real good, and he said even drink like milk to kind of, I guess, cut the acidity. I'm pretty sure it was milk. But basically rinse your mouth really well, brush your teeth if you can. But he said try to do that right away after throwing up, because that will remove all that stomach acid that's just sitting on your teeth. And that was something that I never thought to do with any of my pregnancies. Like, I would get so sick and throw up, and Gideon especially, I threw up just, it was like 2 months straight, multiple times a day. It was rough. And that was something I just never thought to do. I didn't think about like rinsing my mouth out afterwards, just because, I don't know, I'm not really in the headspace to think about that. I would just get up off the floor of the bathroom and then go back to the couch to like lay and try not to feel like dying and still take care of the children, that kind of thing. So it's just something I never thought to do. But I feel like that bit of advice is hopefully, I'm hoping, we're gonna see with his next pregnancy. I'm not pregnant now, just throwing that out there, but the next time I do get pregnant, I'm definitely going to implement rinsing my mouth every time, because that makes so much sense. Just thinking about all those times that I would throw up and then just kind of go back and lay on the couch, and all that, just the stomach acid leftovers of whatever that gets trapped in your teeth. Like, yeah, I may drink water. I always was sipping on water, or, you know, sparkle water or something, but I still wasn't like really rinsing my mouth and like swishing. He was saying to really swish to get it out from around your teeth and between your teeth and your gums and stuff like that, because that was where I had a lot of issues this last time. I had a ton of cavities between my teeth and on my gum line. So let me put my liner on real quick and we can finish chatting. Okay, so I went ahead and put on mascara as well. I have a good amount of sparkle fallout, but something I do want to point out is that the past couple times that I've used this palette, I did my eyes first and then my face makeup, and I never noticed any sparkle fallout on my face throughout the day. So I think this sparkle fallout is definitely just from applying it, and I don't expect to get any more throughout the day, so I figured I would share that. Okay, so as I was putting on my liner and mascara, I was like, you know what, Katie? You didn't go all that crazy and creative. You just kind of went comfort zone. I think I was chatting a little too much and just went to my roots. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but just went with my comfort zone and just did a really Katie look. So I'm sorry I didn't get super creative, because there's definitely some creativity to be had with this palette. I like the mix of cool tones with these greens and the cool tone red orangey shade. That's very, very pretty. But anyway, let me go ahead and finish out my lower lash line. I'm sorry, like I said, I think it was just because I was getting to talking and just kind of forgot that I was doing my makeup. It was just on autopilot with my hands. I'm just putting a little bit of liner in my waterline. Oh, I should have used brown. Oh well, I forgot I used brown liner. So I probably should have used a brown in my waterline, but I just used this one from Sigma. And let's go ahead and finish up. So yeah, I forget where I left off when I went to go do my liner and mascara, but it's something that as I've been pregnant and a mom and whatnot, and I've talked to other people who are mothers, they'll be like, you know, did you ever have any problems with your teeth? 99% of the time, they're like, oh yeah, I've had so many issues. I've had so many root canals, yada, yada, yada. So it's definitely a common theme that I've seen since, like I said, becoming a mother and being pregnant and whatnot. Is definitely like I said, something that definitely happens. So I figured it would be a good, fun subject to talk about. I'd be curious to know if you've had, you know, if you've had children, if you had any teeth problems. I do know, you know, I have heard some people say, no, never had any problems with my teeth, really? So I'm not saying that anyone who ever has children always had problems with their teeth, but it's definitely very common. Like I said, like 99% of the time. I think I've only met one other person who, when I talked to her, was like, oh really? No, I never had any, I've never noticed an uptick in, you know, problems with my teeth after having a child, which, oh, she's so blessed. But anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys to see, you know, maybe if it's just my small circle of friends that I happen to have, who we all have teeth problems, or if you also, after having children, had a lot of teeth problems. I'd be really curious if you want to leave that down below in the comments. Okay, so for my inner corner, there's not really a great shade for my inner corner because I used that yellow on my lid. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this Give Me Glow Late Night Coasting, because I feel like it has, you know, it doesn't have the biggest glow. You know, I thought it leaned a little bit more yellow. Let me grab something. We're gonna go with Anastasia Beverly Hills Iced Out Highlighter, because that definitely has a gold glow is what I was looking for. And I'm gonna use a little sponge applicator. I want to see if that helps it apply easier, because this is a little bit of a powdery product. So yeah, anyway, that's an aspect of having children that I don't really hear people mention much. With this last one, like I said, it's been going on since I got the crown originally put on end of last year sometimes, or fall of last year. And while it kind of, like, it was healed to the point where it wasn't super painful, but I couldn't chew on it. If I did try and chew on that side, it would get painful. And then about a month ago, it was just unbearable. I think for the last 2-3 weeks, I've been living day by day. When it got really bad, I'd have to take some Tylenol, that type of thing. So it hasn't been great, but towards the end, right before going to the endodontist to have a root canal done on that side, I was like, babe, can I just pull the tooth? Like, can we just be done with it? If I don't have the tooth back there, it won't cause me any problems anymore. So anyway, I pray that root canal solved my tooth problems, because it just happened last week, or I went and got the root canal last week, so it's still healing. It feels better. Like literally the past 2 weeks, I've been taking Tylenol almost every day. I tried not to. There were some days that it was bearable, where it was just like a dull ache, but most days, at least at some point during the day, it would get to the point where it's like, I can't function. I need to take care of my children, and so I would take Tylenol. But it's been, I got it on Friday? Yeah, I got the root canal on Friday. It's now Monday, and it's very sore. I haven't tried chewing on that side, but it's not painful like it's been for the past 2-3 weeks. So I'm very thankful and hopeful. I'm gonna go ahead and use this this medium bronzer from Juvia's Place I got from Ulta recently. Since we're on camera and I'm still kind of finishing chatting up, let's give it a try. I'm curious to see, I didn't know if I should get the lighter medium. You guys know I like a good bronze, so I was like, I'll get the medium and see, but I feel like this might be too dark. We're gonna try it. I don't know which one I'm supposed to use where. I feel like I tend to use this type of shade down here more so, but anyway. So yeah, I figured we could chat about that, and like I said, I'd love to hear your own stories down below. It's something I wish I had heard, that point about like if you throw up a lot during your pregnancy from nausea and stuff, that you should like swish and rinse your mouth really good. Or like I said, you can double check. I'm sure there's websites that'll tell you, but I think it was milk he said that helps cut down the acidity in your mouth so that it doesn't cause that. It's definitely something I'm going to try religiously this next time whenever I get pregnant, to see if that helps, because I would love to not have to go. I'm going to take a touch of the other stuff, or the other side. I'd love to not have to spend a ton of money on my teeth, and I just like to not have mouth problems, because it's so painful and hard to function when your mouth is like throbbing, or you have trouble eating because it hurts so much. It's like it impacts your life a good bit, more than I ever thought. And it's just been fresh. I'm taking a mixture of the two now. It's just been fresh in my mind because I've been going through it, and it's just been hard to function and hard to kind of like, you know, not focus on, because it's just, I'm sure if you've had tooth problems, you know, it's very distracting. Like, you know, there's a point where it's like, yeah, I can just ignore it, but then it's like, literally my mouth feels like it's pulsating off my face, or I just want it to pulsate off my face and leave me alone. So yeah, that's kind of like my journey with my teeth. With having kids. I'm just taking that ABH, the same one for my inner corner. It's been quite the rough ride, and I am excited and curious to try, like I said, those methods this next go around, the next time I'm pregnant, to see if it does help. Because I feel like with the amount of times I get, you know, sick during my pregnancy, I feel like that'll help me a lot in the next time I'm pregnant, to not have so many issues with my teeth. Not to say that I don't think I'll, you know, have cavities. I probably will, but I'd like to not have like a root canal. Like I said, with each one of my pregnancy, I had to have something major. It wasn't just cavities, though with each one of them I had to get multiple cavities on multiple teeth. You know, I just kind of mostly focused on the highlights, or like the major ones. So I just have a whole story with each one of my children, and I like to break that cycle with my fourth child and just have like, oh, you have 2 cavities, you know, let's just take care of it here in office, a 1-hour session and you're done. So anyway, yeah, this is my look. This is my makeup for the day using the American Parks by Nomad Cosmetics. I absolutely love the palette. I didn't really focus too much on it talking about it, but I love the color story. This is my type of neutral. This is very, like, I love these earthy tones. This is a fun, earthy toned, very warm toned, fall appropriate palette. I cannot wait to use it more, and I'll definitely be using it here, you know, in the coming weeks. If you want to see all of my looks, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there, and I always share my looks in the morning after I do my makeup. I take a quick little boomerang and post it over there, so if you're ever curious, you can see that. I guess I didn't put anything on my lips. Let me put a little bit of my lip oil. I think I hear Levi waking up, so I gotta go. So anyway, there we go. I'll put up some close-ups here so you guys can get up close and see the look. I really like how the mattes blended out. I always love Nomad's mattes. I think they're very beautiful. And then their shimmers are very pretty. The gold looked a little bit more sheer, like topperish. I wish I wouldn't have messed with it as much because I feel like it was starting to gunk up or just kind of look weird because it's more of a, yeah, kind of like the type of shadow you want to pat over a look and be done with it and not sit there and build it up like I was doing. But the green applied like no problem. It's super sparkly. It reminds me of the shimmer in their Shanghai palette that got discontinued, but it was a newer formula, so I do think there are some of those. And then like I said, I also used the shade, what is it, Big Ben right here on my lid. It's super sparkly. It's more of a neutral tone, like a neutral color because it's like a purple taupe, but it is absolutely beautiful and sparkly. I use these two as well. Super sparkly, super reflective. I love that amount of sparkle to them. Nothing too incredibly like metallic, but definitely sparkly and reflective and a little bit shifty with that purple one as well. So anyway, those are my first impression and thoughts on the Nomad Cosmetics American Parks palette. I'm super excited to have this and be able to use it, and I'll give you guys my full review in my next Palpalooza countdown review video whenever that is. So yeah, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye guys.